For me, the things that drive me was definitely the love for the sport, but the most important one is my family, They're my motivation, every time I see them, it puts a smile on my face. Obviously I don't get to see them too often, but every time they call me, I hear their voice, it motivates me, to keep going and keep going stronger.
At just 22 years old, Alphonso Davies is already considered by many the greatest Canadian soccer player of all time. Davies was just 15 years old when he began his professional career with the Vancouver Whitecaps, and not long after, he was putting on a show in Major League Soccer.
And now a chance here for Davies again. Mark right around goal. He's able to finish.
The world took notice. And a few months before his 18th birthday, Davies signed with the storied German franchise Bayern Munich.
Brilliant run by Davies. Sensational, sensational, sensational.
He is now a bona fide star with one of the biggest teams in the world. A dream that started as a kid in Edmonton, where his family settled as refugees after fleeing civil war in Liberia. Edmonton is where Davies first fell in love with the game and set him on a path to become the face of Canadian soccer.
Alphonso Davies keeps it himself! Goal! Alphonso Davies, are you kidding me?
We have a lot to talk about in terms of what's going on now, but I want to go back just for a couple of moments and ask you, first of all, about just your love of soccer. Like when you think back to your childhood, do you remember that moment where you thought, I just love this game so much?
Yeah, growing up, my dad played, in Edmonton for, a couple of years. I mean, it wasn't anything special, but me watching him growing up, it was amazing. Yeah, I just try to replicate what I see. I try to put it in my game. Even at a young age, playing football was just, for me, for fun. It was just me being myself, expressing myself, being who I am and just enjoying the game.
Your parents, their incredible story of being refugees, coming to Canada, having to work really long hours, and you put in a position, as I understand it, to help take care of your siblings at home.
Yeah, growing up, my parents, they did each work 2 jobs each, trying to provide for the family. I had a little brother and a little sister. Yeah, I mean, changing diapers at the age of, I think, 9, 10 wasn't easy. Myself, I'm a kid as well, so. And once I step on the football pitch, I forget about all that. I just go out there, have fun, just enjoy in every moment that I have to play the sport.
What is your goal as a player?
My goal as a player to reach professional level and probably play with some of the pros.
And then at 14 years old, the Vancouver Whitecaps come calling, and they want you to move from Edmonton to Vancouver to be part of their development program. And from what I understand, your mom was reluctant. How did you convince her to let you go?
Yeah, when Vancouver came knocking to the door at 14, it was a tough moment because, my mom is very keen on education. Obviously, her and my father didn't get the education they always dreamed of, and they wanted their kids to have it as well. So she didn't want me to go to Vancouver and change, become something that I'm not. And I made a promise to her, I promised that I'll be the same. I'll focus on my studies, and then she let me go. I'm happy that she did.
A lot of people are happy that she did. That was then, and then you walk into Munich. You walk into this training facility and all the pressures that all of a sudden you had to face. At 18 years old, what was that like?
Coming here, I knew that, they had world-class players on this team. Players that have won World Cups, multiple Champions Leagues. For me, coming into this team at 18 was just me learning, to learn from all these guys, to learn, how they became, who they are and how they became so good. I waited for my opportunity. I worked as hard as possible. yeah, when I got my opportunity, you know, I showed what I can do, and yeah, and it's going pretty well right now.
Looks like you feel like you're home.
Yeah, this is definitely my home. You know, I feel comfortable here. Everyone makes it comfortable. Being with each other, it's just a good vibe, not just on the pitch, off the pitch as well. You know, to have a good connection with each player.
With the squad. With the squad, you know what I'm saying? You know the vibes.
Speaking of good vibes, you have become a social media phenomenon. You've got more than 5 million followers on Instagram, more than 6 million on TikTok. It's extraordinary what you do on there. What's your motivation?
I mean, for me, it's not really motivation. Nah, it's just, you know, me being a kid, I guess, me showing my personality, you know, on social media, you know, showing, I guess, how I am, you know, off the pitch. But other than that, it's just authentic, you know. I just sit on my couch, say something, and then I post it, you know. That's just how I'm feeling. I guess I just speak my mind.
Oh, this thing on? How old is my soulmate right now? Ooh! Hey, Google. Oh, every day this guy calls my name at least 20 times a day. Yeah, how can I help you? Can you play chop sup? Blah blah. Maybe now. Can you play that? Bro, that's not even the song name. Like, if you're gonna request a song, at least know the damn name. Oh my God, man. Playing Hot Now by NBA Youngboy. You the guy, you the guy.
The social media version of Alphonso Davies does seem like a fun guy, and I guess that's what you're really like. But also on Twitch, I saw a clip where you said, you know what, like, you're living a great life. It's great to be a professional football player, but at the same time, it's kind of lonely here. You don't have a big group of friends.
Yeah, it's nice, you know, to be a professional, to, you know, to play the sport I love each and every day. You know, after training, I think when you go home, you know, most of the players, they have, you know, families, they have kids, they have wives, you know, they have people around them. For me, I came here by myself, you know, I have a couple friends. I don't really get to see them often, but yeah, you know, sometimes it gets lonely when you're sitting at home and you're just, you know, thinking to yourself, like, what is there to do? I mean, I guess comes with the job, you know.
We have a lot of positive things to talk about, but I want to ask you about one other big challenge, and that was the myocarditis, the enlargement of the heart that you got after you were infected with COVID. That must have been a scary time.
Yeah, that was very scary. I was just doing my time at home, my quarantine, and I got a phone call from the doctor. He was like, yeah, you have myocarditis. You know, I didn't know what it was. You know, he explained to me what it was, and I was like, okay, so I was like, all right, how long am I gonna be out? I think that was a scary thing when he said, we don't know. So now I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, you know, I was in shock. You know, I didn't believe that I could be sitting out for 1 year of football not playing. Yeah, it was scary. I mean, yeah, I'm happy that I was able to be back, you know, in the 4 months period. And everything's looking good. I'm healthy again, so I'm happy.
So you missed some games, including you missed the game where Canada qualified for the World Cup.
Yeah.
But you watched it, and we watched you watching it.
This is the moment the country has waited for.
I've dreamt of this moment. My dreams about to come true. Dreams about to come true. The whole country. Everybody on this pitch, everybody in Canada. Dreams about to come true, bro. Boys did well, man. Man, these guys did so well. I can't believe it. Going to the World Cup.
When I found out that I wasn't able to, you know, be with the team, you know, when they qualify, you know, it's a moment that would last forever in everybody's mind, you know, not just the players, you know, the whole country. You know, it was really emotional because we started this journey, I don't know how long ago, and we all told ourselves that we want to make it to the World Cup. You know, we know it wasn't going to be an easy road. And yeah, I mean, that time was very emotional for everybody, you know, not just for me, you know, for the whole, everybody on the pitch, and also, I'm sure, some Canadian fans as well.
And now, just at 22 years old, you are one of the leaders of the team. You know, your teammates, an entire country is going to be looking at you for leadership in what's going to be a tough qualifying round. How are you feeling about that?
It's going to be a lot, you know, stepping on the pitch, you know, in a World Cup, you know, it's every kid's dream, every footballer's dream. It's truly incredible, you know, not just for me, for the players that is on the team, and also a whole country as well. You know, 36 years, a long time. And yeah, our first one, we want to make it as memorable as possible. For most players, it's their first. And yeah, we're all looking forward to it.
Now, one of the I guess not really a charity, but one of the things that you have become you have aligned yourself with is the UN, you know, supporting refugees. You've become a worldwide ambassador for that.
When I look back at my life, I often wonder, where would I have been if I stayed in the refugee camp? Would I have made it as a professional footballer? That's why I want people to know about the importance of helping refugees. They need our support for their immediate need to survive. I am proud to join the UNHCR as a goodwill ambassador and speak up for refugees.
You talk a lot about the importance of being a refugee and how, you know, never underestimate a refugee, I think you said in one of your posts. Why have you taken on the role with the UN?
Taking on the role, you know, it was the agency that helped my family, you know, come to a better life. And I feel like when people hear the word refugee, they think of a negative image, you know, which is not true. You know, we're people as well. We're humans. You know, we don't choose to be, you know, refugees. It's just something that happens in our home, and now we have to flee. We have to look for a new home, better place to live. Yeah, I just wanted to use my platform to spread the words. You know, not just for refugees, just, you know, people in general that need help around the world.
I want to play a clip from the interview that you and I did 4 years ago.
Sure.
And I asked you then about your motivation, like kind of, you know, what motivated you as a young man playing football. And here's a clip, and we edited it back 4 years ago, but I just want to play it for you now.
Seeing where they come from and seeing where we are now, I think that's one of the reasons I try to keep my head level, you know, and I'm also trying to, you know, stay humble for my mom. You know, she gave me the opportunity, and I don't want to be, you know, be getting a big head and then something happened and then she goes, what happened? You know, I don't want to disappoint her.
So that was Alphonso Davies 4 years ago. You were laughing when you saw yourself?
You know, it's funny seeing yourself when you're so young. Yeah.
But in terms of your motivation 4 years ago to not disappoint your parents, your mother in particular, how would you describe that now?
I think I'm doing a good job. Yeah, they're proud of me. You know, they're happy. They call me every day, you know, to check up, and you know, they told me how proud they are of me. You know, it's nice to see, because they sacrificed so much to give us a better life, and I want to give you know, everything back to them. You know, they're the reason why each and every day I get up to play the sport that I love and do my best each and every day.
Well, you've given them a lot of reason to be proud. You've given Canadians a lot of reason to be proud, and we wish you luck at the World Cup.
Thank you so much.